We're waiting.
Is stream live? Is it?
It's stream live.
Is it live? Can you see it?
It's looking live. Yeah.
Okay.
It's looking
right.
live.
Before we get started, because we're going to edit this bit out when it goes on YouTube. So, let's have a mic test. Can everyone hear us all right? Baz, say hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, okay. It's looking
Right.
Probably.
Before we get started, because we're going to edit this bit out when it goes on.
Incredible scenes. So I think maybe if you do the YouTube thing, maybe then their comments come through just a touch quicker than Patreon.
Is everyone hearing us?
Can you hear us just so we can start?
Sounds
basically?
fine, yeah. John Lavelle says
Yeah.
we sound fine.
1 2 Yes, sounds good. Yeah, right. Everyone's
Everyone's on board. Everyone is on board.
people are on board. People are ready. So let's
Let me just get the watch comments up. Just in case
Okay.
we have any comments. Okay, yeah. Sounds fine. Yeah, clear. Yeah, sounds great, lads. Cheers.
okay. Excellent.
Okay, let's go. Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton 2, Burnley 0. We end the season at Goodison Park with another victory. Oh, how sweet, Baz. But before we start, this video is sponsored by OneFootball. The OneFootball app makes it easier to find all the latest scores, stats, and latest news all in one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. If you're on Patreon, we are live right now. We are live. It is 11 minutes past 1 in the morning. We've got back from the match. We've done our other videos and we're doing the final word live. So if you are on Patreon,
Then
let us know.
It live.
Give us some of your thoughts, some of your comments on the game, which we'll get into. But same 11 as we've been using in the last few games. Obviously, that's his preferred. That's his preferred starting 11. Clearly, which I think to me what that says is in the summer we need more players because you can't just rely on 11 players all the time. And I think there's parts in this game that showed that a little bit. But the consistency certainly at home is there now.
Yeah, I mean, what would he have done? Seeing when I done the predicted starting 11. And thanks for all the lovely comments about the FIFA cards, by the way. It's good. Schneidlin was in there, and the only other option I said at the time was potentially putting Tom in there alongside Garner, but it's difficult, I suppose, for a manager because the club's we're on a good run, particularly at Goodison. And if he starts messing and making 3 or 4 changes and the rhythm of the team goes and Burnley turn up tonight and beat us, then you finish the season on a bit of a downer. You lose a bit of momentum. And don't forget that it's every place is money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
well, no. I mean, I think we spoke about this in the preview. There's still a chance to get Europe. There is. If we win our last game and Wolves don't, pick up 3 points in the last 2 games and other results go our way, we get 7th place. You can't be dicking about with that. The only thing I wasn't really thinking about Sneijder and Tom Davies. The position I was thinking of is more just Richarlison after seeing him go off. He's obviously playing through the pain barrier, and it only took really one whack to his ribs to take him off, and that was the only really position I was thinking of that would have been up for grabs tonight. But that's what I was saying about when you've got a squad and you need to use your squad because you've got injuries or suspensions. Or you've got a player who's injured and you can say, you know what, we've got a ready-made replacement there so you can go out this week. But the manager at this point, and it's a good point to have it going into the summer, doesn't feel like he's got that at the moment, doesn't feel like he's got that flexibility. He knows he's got players, he just hasn't got players that fit the system like that starting 11 do.
Yeah, and The thing with Richarlison is he was worth the risk, wasn't he? Because we scored the first goal from it, albeit it's been given as an own goal. It was going wide, to be fair. But
see, who's to say it wouldn't have bent back?
yeah, you don't know. I mean, I like the.
What about if Roberto Carlos's free kick against France in the tournoi?
That's on wide.
If that hit a deflection and gone in, with people might have said, well, it was going wide anyway.
If it would have hit a deflection?
Yeah.
Do you mean if it would have deflected?
No, they had a player called
Deflection.
Deflection.
Be careful with the deflection. Listen, if Richarlison doesn't take the shot, we don't score the goal. So for me, it's his goal, and Everton give him it. So I don't really care about anyone else. Yeah, but he looked quite lively till he got that whack, didn't he? After about half an hour, and he was kind of gingerly approaching.
Why are you using that word? That's our word. That is our word, and you can't use it. You can't use our word. I can use that word all I want, but you can't use that word.
You've often said, "Oh, that's a grey area," and I've been fuming.
You mean like it fuming inside?
Just didn't know what to do.
Didn't know how to get it out.
Oh,
I mean, fair enough. I mean, we live in a world.
Using my grey matter.
We live in a world where that's the state of play.
No, listen, I know what you're saying, and there would have been a. You see, the problem is, and you've just actually hit the nail on the head with it, is that it isn't that we haven't got some good players who aren't in the team. It's just that he just don't fit the way he plays. You know, when Theo Walcott come on in the second half, and he done little bits, but in general, our system and the way we play just changed totally. The dynamic changed.
It does.
But
I mean, sometimes, just on the point,
Yeah.
sometimes you want players who change the way you play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, but
not when you're in a rhythm.
and also not when it's a forced sub rather than you want players to come on.
Well, subs sometimes are forced, don't they?
But that's what I'm saying.
You want to change.
You want to change the game sometimes to go your way by offering
Doing
something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But if you're playing well and you just want to keep playing well, you want to. I mean, that's been the notable thing about Calvert-Lewin in the last few weeks is that it doesn't really matter as long as he's doing what he's doing and helping the team. The manager is probably not going to say, "Well, hang on, you've missed that chance and this chance." You can't really afford to do that because Dominic Calvert-Lewin offers so much in terms of what he brings to the whole team. But that's what they'll be looking at in the summer, I imagine.
Yeah, big fella there. My dad making comments there. Good feeling heading for next season, right direction at last. It's exactly what I said at full time, and I don't want to say it too much because things often with Everton bump. But no, you're right. I think that for us now, with the team is that in tune with what the manager wants, you can see that it does take the odd thing. If you can't replace like for like, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's a perfect example because everything outside the penalty area is brilliant. What he does. It's just that he doesn't look like he can buy a goal because the chances he misses, he's got powder puff shots in the box, and then the one that rolled back to him, edged the box, he nearly hit it out the stadium. And he's got no composure at all, and that he's got to learn that. But everything else outside the box, his touch, his head, the way he holds it up, is brilliant. But we're going to go probably closer to where we want to be. He's either going to have to start getting himself in the box and taking chances. But we're also going to have to buy one, maybe two strikers to battle it out with him as well. But
definitely, yeah.
What really impressed me tonight, though, mate, was the way we started the game.
Yeah.
We started the game at such a fast pace that they just couldn't live with us. And I think the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes, they put the possession stats on, I think it was 93%.
No.
Was
it?
Yeah, which is absolutely berserk. Maybe not 15, but it was 93. And me and Andrew sits next to me, we're like, 93? How? But it felt like they literally were just kicking the ball out or away, and we were coming after them again, and that really impressed me. If we can take that thing forward into next season, then this team could do something.
It was intense. Well, it was really first 15 minutes or so, first 20 minutes, we really did lay siege. Not necessarily to their goal, but just in possession, like you just said. We just had the ball. We were looking at the ways we could obviously get behind them as possible, because that they came with a plan. They came with one up front, Wood, and he literally, I mean, that is the perfect name for him, by the way. And
Well, where was Barnes playing?
Barnes plays,
he played a bit
but he
deeper,
plays deeper, doesn't he?
Yeah,
but he's a unit as well.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't it?
And then you've got loads of runners, and obviously the way they play, like obviously the pressing game is a big thing now for a lot of sides. So as soon as the opposition get the ball, they will press. They're like it's not quite the opposite, but the way they look at it is as soon as you get the ball, they get back into their shape as fast as they can. So it's a slightly different thing. They try and get straight back in their shape, and they say to you, you know what, you can have the ball, try and break us down. And that's where it slightly disappointed me second half, just jumping ahead, is that second half, for me, I thought we played far too much into their strengths by starting to just throw balls into the box, which they could deal with all day. But in the first 20 minutes, we were probing and really trying to just look at different ways we could get behind them. And the first goal, I mean, what's great about the first goal? We talked about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think Richarlison's almost in the right back position. He puts a ball into Dom. Dom goes down the line for him. Dom then holds it up, comes in, and Richarlison makes a beeline to go central. And that shows the flexibility, having a proper front three, not just a striker and two people who play either side of him. It's a proper front three. Richarlison goes central to the space that Dom's left. You know, gets it out of his feet and has a shot. And you know, I mentioned on my player ratings is that, you know, whether it's his goal, whether they say it's his goal or it's not his goal, it's his goal because, or it's such a well worked, almost from the training ground goal. And you know what? So what if it took a nick? Sometimes things do need to take a nick to open a game up. And luckily enough, it took the nick. I mean, who's to say it wouldn't have gone in anyway? And it's gone in the back of the net. And I thought, as soon as that went in the back of the net, I thought, right, can relax now, because it's not going to make. I mean, I've just sat through the 90 minutes at Crystal Palace where we puffed and puffed, where we probably needed that kind of little bit of luck on the day. Thought we've got that now, because it was funny because I was sitting there, I was watching it thinking, we've actually gone past the time in the game where we'd scored against United and Arsenal. And I was thinking that's quite interesting. That you know, you're playing a team like Burnley, but it wasn't long till we got in the lead. And I thought once we got in the lead, I just thought, yeah, we'll be all right here.
Yeah, it was the measure of the goal as well. Like you say, the ball bent down the line. Dom showed brilliantly, held it up, bought himself some time. You know, come back inside. And when you do that, and you have got that fluid front three, that's what we've been talking about. When you play, you see, this is the other thing, what the manager's done really well, and Marcel Brands as well, but we've tried to play this way ever since David Moyes left.
Yeah.
We tried to play with a 4-3-3 ever since Moyes left, and it's never ever been, it's always been what Moyes' formation was, which is essentially 4-5-1.
Yeah.
And we tried it with Rom and we couldn't do it. Rom, how many times has Rom isolated playing for us? You know, when Rom went and Rooney was up there on his own, it didn't work, and then we huffed and puffed with that. But now, because of Bernard and because of Richarlison, you've got a legitimate front three.
Yeah.
And a front three that are fluid. All right, you know, in general, Bernard will stay where he is on the left.
Only.
But Richarlison and Dom, because Dom is prepared to run out wide as well, it does give you that fluidity. And when you've got people who interchange in those front three, that's what a 4-3-3 is. A 4-3-3 isn't what Burnley had. Burnley had a 4-4-1-1 really, but you know, it was more like 8-0-1.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, 8-1-1. But no, the goal give us that little bit of, just like a little pat on the back of, lads, you know what you're doing. And then we go and get the second goal. And I believe Coleman is the 20th Everton player to score 20 goals, and he scored in the 20th minute. Apparently. So there you go. But that was another patient build-up though. You know, and again...
What we didn't do is, we didn't allow them to just get rid of it.
No.
It was good football. We moved it. There was a couple of shots. It bounced around a little bit. Dean had already thrown one in. And it comes back to him.
Saves it back, doesn't it?
And he has another. And it's a great strike, to be honest.
It's a good save, you know.
Was it?
Yeah, you know why? Because he thinks it's going low and it doesn't. It stays up and he has to react with the hand. And
I thought...
I mean, what was Seamus doing?
Well, I thought Seamus was going to be offside, and I've looked at it again. He's not offside clearly, and he was at he did in the post match, and I heard him, and he just said, you know, Tim Cahill actually said to him, you held your line like a centre forward, and he was like, well, I'm a defender. I should know all about the line.
Yeah. Spot on.
You know, he said, you know, and what was great about that goal was it's your left back creating a goal for your right back. Okay, in fortuitous situation, but it's like that's what you want. That's like the first season of Martinez. You know, Baines to Coleman, and that's what you know. That's what you want. They're the. I mean, it makes such a difference when your fullbacks are creating goals for your other fullbacks. That's where you're like, yeah, this is actually working. This is we're doing all right here. Because to be fair, in the first, I would love to see the heat map of the first 20 minutes of our fullbacks, because I would imagine they were almost like another set of wingers, because they were so high up the pitch.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. I mean, Baz is searching for the heat maps as we speak.
Literally looking as we speak.
I mean, it's no good for the viewer, but
no, but for us.
But that was 2-0, and it was funny after it went 2-0 because they had to make. I mean, the heat maps essentially just looks like Predator 1 and Predator 2.
Yeah, there's your heat map for the game. So they were, yeah.
So
literally the fullbacks
were camped on the edge,
playing on the edge
in the
of
first
box,
half. Yeah. But it's funny because when we went 2-0 up and they had to change it, they actually started playing like decent football. And listen, they're not my team, and I can't speak for them, and I can't, you know, their squad's not great, and you do the best with they can, and I've got, you know, fair play to them for what they do.
Yeah.
But you just looked at them when they started playing and thinking, these are actually all right. These would probably win a few games if you just let them play now and again. But I suppose.
But it's built on being tight, though, isn't it, and being awkward and be. Yes, he could be more expansive, but he's not gonna, because you know. He does what he does, doesn't he? You know, he does. I wouldn't want to watch it every week, but that's no slight.
We have watched it.
No, I know when it was painful. You know, and that was one of the things we were speaking about walking out the stadiums like 12 months ago. Couldn't wait to get out the car.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But 2-0 up, and I think we didn't have. We had Gylfi's chance where he.
I don't know what he was doing.
I think he thought probably I'll smash this and it'll just arrow into the top corner, and he just got it wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe if he'd laid it back,
if
or
he just cut it across, it was 3-0. Or if he just hit it without trying to whack it.
But he went for something else.
Yeah.
Tackle on Morgan Snyderman by Westwood.
Horrendous. Have you not seen it?
No, I've not seen this.
Red card, mate. Horrendous challenge. Studs just on the thigh. Ball's nowhere. Morgan gets the ball. He goes right over the top. And the referee, I thought he was going to give Burnley the free kick because Nydland went in, but he got the ball. His feet are on the floor. Westwood's is up here. And spoke to David Prutton at half time, and he said it was a red card, and then straight again it was a proper red. And incidentally, I don't think the referee gave the yellow. I think the fourth official gave the yellow because Silva and Coleman ran over to the line and was arguing with the fourth official because it was a horrendous tackle. Should have been straight red. Honestly, it was really bad. And luckily, you know, it was on the fleshy bit of your leg. So
I mean, to be fair, the whole of my leg is the fleshy bit.
Well, there you go. So your shin would have been fine. But what I mean is, if it was lower down, he might have had an issue. But it was, you know, luckily he was okay. But he was a moaning little beaut all night, that Westwood. Referee should have ended.
He is, though, isn't he? He is. He, that's exactly what he is. But talking about Snyderland, Snyderland had a good game, didn't he? Because I thought tonight, Garner had a little bit more licence to go forward. And I thought Snyderland, where we'd said to him in the last couple of weeks, maybe that, you know, you don't notice him, so it's a case of you don't notice him in a game, so it's like, well, he's played well if you don't really notice him. But tonight I thought he was a lot more noticeable because he played more of the role that Garner normally played. I mean, Garner still did a little bit of it and did break up play a little bit, but I just thought tonight he had just a little bit more licence just because of who we were up against, and we were playing at home. And
I thought he was man of the match, to be honest. I thought he stood out. I thought the two centre backs were fantastic because they were up against, okay, not the most skillful players, but two lads who give you the game and you know you have to battle with them. But I thought Snyderland was brilliant. I really did. I thought everything he did was excellent, and he kept it going, and he looked like when he first came in, and he was just keeping the tempo, and he was carrying it for and getting it back, and he was always on for a pass. And I think when you've got someone who always makes themselves available for a pass, it makes everybody else's job easier. He didn't hide, and listen, you know, we said last season he didn't impress us with his attitude last season, you know, and that's probably putting it kindly. You know, you were out in Lyon when he got sent off, and you said you didn't want to see him again. I think a lot of Evertonians felt exactly the same. And then we had the whole Morales and, Duncan sending him from training or whatever it was. And, he seemed like public enemy number one, didn't he? Because we'd seen how good he was when he first came in, and then the drop-off was whatever. But this season, and we know he's had some problems this year, but I think it's a testament to the manager. The fact that he hasn't been in all the time, and yet when he's come in, he's performed. Yeah. That's really difficult.
Yeah.
Some players just simply can't do it. But he came back in at Cardiff and everyone was like, what the... And you have to say, he hasn't put a foot wrong in the games he's played. Yeah. Really.
No, he hasn't. He's been...
I honestly think if he'd have come on at Newcastle, we'd have won the game.
I think that's the funny thing, isn't it? When we played Newcastle, I know straight away, that they were my thoughts straight away. I know they were the thoughts of a lot of people saying, well, really, that's the sub it should have been. It should have been put him in midfield and snuff it out. Don't put Mina on, because all you're doing is inviting Newcastle to keep doing do what they're doing. Yeah. It was him. He's got the experience to go, no, we'll put a lid on this. And I think listen, sometimes you've got to learn. You've got to learn from your mistakes, and I think Silva strikes me as a manager who will learn from his mistakes, who is learning from his mistakes. He's done that all season, I think. And I think that's the thing. That's the thing, I suppose. And a lot of, with managers, when people say, well, give them time. I think if you give a manager time, but he keeps on repeating the same mistakes, like a certain Spanish manager, then what can you say as a fan, or even or a pundit or anyone else? If you're seeing the same mistakes week in and week out, you've got to. All you can say is, well, he's either going to change or he goes, and if someone isn't prepared to change, then they go. Whereas Marco Silva this year, listen, I mean, it's too short a time anyway, realistically, but I think that he's looked at the situation and gone, right, let's just change something then. Don't keep trying to do something till it's done to death. You've got to be flexible as a manager. You've got to be. You've got to know your own mind. Of course you have, but you've still got to be flexible. You've got to. When you watch the Man City documentary and Pep's got a guy who he works with who basically he's got a job at Man City. All he does, by the looks of it, is he's the only person who Pep is prepared to listen to him, because he's the only guy who will just tell him how it is. And he's not even a football guy. He was in water polo or something like that.
He's in an external sport.
Yeah, and he was just like, he's the only person that Pep listens to, because he knows that he doesn't bullshit. He just tells him how it is. Yeah. And I think, I'm sure there's people like that at the club anyway, and that's why people tend to keep the coaches and stuff around them.
But you do need that. You do need someone who will say, no, you're wrong, I don't agree with that, and this is why. Or not, you don't need yes men in football, and unfortunately we had it.
Great stat by Joe McKibben. We haven't conceded a goal. Why Morgan Snarland's been on the pitch since Cardiff away.
Yeah, because he wasn't on. I think Newcastle he didn't play, did he? And Fulham he was injured, wasn't he? Or he wasn't involved with Fulham. So, which is mad. They're the only goals we've conceded, isn't it?
Yeah,
since that
break. Got 5 goals.
No, but I'm saying it's mad, isn't it? It's like, 9 games? It's like 6 wins, isn't it? 1 draw and 2 defeats. So it's been fantastic. I mean, the last 5 home games, if since City beat us, we have not conceded a goal. We've won 4 and drawn 1. So Schneiderlin was excellent, and the midfield just looks so solid, didn't it? And I think we got to half time. I think the frustrating thing, if you were going to be a little bit frustrated, was we hadn't added to the 2. It was only 2, because you're thinking if they get 1, it could make it a bit awkward when the game really
isn't that what we've been calling for though, like a bit of game management. Yeah. We get to half time.
Come greedy out as a fan.
Yeah, of course. We get out. Half time comes. Come out. And to be fair, we started again, not at the same tempo we started the first half, but we started quickly going for them, and then it sort of just started dropping off then, didn't it? And when they put 2 up, they had 2 up front, and it was almost like, it was like a little bit, we were being a bit cautious and they were being obviously a lot more carefree.
I thought we just become sloppy.
And that's what I'm saying. But that's where it started. That's what I'm saying. That's where it started. It started by them being a little bit more ambitious, and then they started to win the 50-50s. And then what we started to do, or what I certainly thought we started to do, is we started trying the Hollywood passes, the passes that weren't on. And again, not not doing, which is what we should have done against Fulham, and what we should have done in a lot of games, is just slowing the game down for 5 minutes and just making sure everything was right. And even though you mightn't go anywhere, you just take the sting out the game, and they run around a lot and don't touch the ball for a couple of minutes, and they're like, whereas when you get the ball and then you just keep giving it back to them, you're the one who's likely to get tired because you're running.
Well, that's what they did to us early on, didn't they? They were just giving us the ball back and we don't. I mean, Brian Gardner on Peyton here said the commentators on the Premier League feed were saying we looked like Man City. I couldn't believe the praise we would give. And that's in that first 20 minutes, we did look like Man City. We just looked like, and I've seen Liverpool, it was just intensity. Second half, I think obviously we lost to Charleston, and the 2 minutes into the second half, he went down again, and that was it. And then Theo come on, and it's just not the same.
Straight lines, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the same. And we don't get, and to be honest, the amount of times he made a run in behind and Coleman didn't give him it. Coleman like slowed it down. He's wasted then because he's not one that comes short and turns. So, but we started, you're right, we started Sigurdsson twice. We had great breaks and he's trying to fire balls through.
Bernard
did the same. And you're like, just keep doing everything right. And I know, listen, this is what they do, and it builds confidence, and the confidence to do it. But sometimes, like Bernard was doing the lovely back heel we love him doing, but almost for the sake of it, twice in the second half, and it's like, don't need to do that, just keep doing it.
Keep the ball.
So when you're, and I think the other thing as well, certainly what I felt was, it was so easy that when it's that easy, you do drop your level because it's like a little lax of concentration slipping. And they did step it up a little bit, fair play to them, and try to rush us a little bit more, but they were limited, like you said.
Well, Wood had a couple of half chances, didn't he? He had the one where, he'd had the goal given for offside in the first half, I know. And then there was one where he got the ball and he knocked it too far ahead of him, and Pickford got it. And there was another one, wasn't he, which he hit straight to Pickford, I think.
That was the only shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only shot they had. So they had those little moments, and
they had one where they broke 3-on-1, and Schneidlin got back and made an unbelievable interception.
But you know,
unbelievable.
It was funny because I was sitting there and I was thinking, if we were in 7th now, my bottle would be gone. But because it felt like there was really nothing on the game, I was just sitting back on, it'd be all right. But I was thinking, if this had been like November, or we were in 7th right now, I'd be like, my anxiety would have been through the roof because.
But isn't it good that the confidence, you're saying that now, right? And I remember sitting here and we were like, I don't know how we're not going to concede a goal because we just look so frail. But now, when that second goal went in, I was like, it's done. Even if they score, we'll score again. It's that confidence. And what that does then is, as fans and as a fan base, it takes everyone down a level so that anxiety doesn't filter through.
Yeah.
And I think as a player, the players, it's the belief. Like we beat United, we beat Arsenal 1-0. So we scored early on and we kept the clean.
I do think there was times in the second half where they did
we were sloppy.
Where we were really sloppy. And because, listen, I know it was last game of the season's always dead funny because after the ground they're just waiting to get off to go and have a pint. Let's be honest, they always are. And it's like, can we just win the game and go home, please, or go off for a pint, please? And it almost doesn't. It doesn't help create like an atmosphere or anything. And the atmosphere when it came out at the start was great. But then there was times in the second half where there was just a lull because it was like we weren't doing enough, were we? That's what I'm saying. But as a fan, you're just sitting there and it's. And because you know you're 2-0 up and you're thinking, well, we'll win this, it was just one of those games, and as I say, we had little nervy moments, but then he brought Lookman on, who I thought added something to the game. I thought he was just, he didn't add anything in terms of a goal. But what I mean, he started running at them, and I think he did give them something to think about. Whereas Bernard went off, and with Richarlison sub and Walcott, that's enforced, and you don't want that because Richarlison's playing well. But I did think Lookman added something, and he started running at them. He obviously hit the bar. He really should have scored after Walcott should have scored again. I mean, why can't professional footballers hit a ball hard?
Walcott and Calvert-Lewin, it's got the Osman syndrome. Leon with like the full
Jimmy.
the power of a baby in his shot, every one of them.
I've seen
I
a
mean,
video of
look,
Ronaldo's kids today, it's a ball harder.
but look when it's one from 20 yards, it racks the bar
Yeah.
and goes over. 8 yards out, it's like a back pass, and you're like, what is going on?
Well, even
I just
there-
thought when he come on, first of all, did his shorts not fit him? He was messed with his shorts the whole game when he came on. He looked like, at first, I just looked at him and thought, you don't even look interested. But then after about 5 minutes, he started like getting into it then, and it was like probably just took him a bit of time to warm up, and then he did. What he does brilliantly is he moves the ball, manipulates the ball so well. He's not lightning because he's not a runner. He runs with the ball, but he's not one to knock it past him.
No,
he's a dribbler, isn't he? And he can turn. He's got really quick feet, and that's what you want to see him driving at them. So he did add something. He gave them something different to think about. But you still look at him and go, is he a starter for us? And he's not, in my opinion. I couldn't see him replacing Bernard.
But I think that's what we were talking about last week, weren't we, on one of the shows, when we were saying about what a run in Europe gives you, is the ability to allow players like him games, and him and other players. That's why you want Europe, is because of those players.
Just never looks happy.
No, he doesn't.
Even when he was walking around at the end, he gave his top to
he's just
someone.
strange. He's
He's
strange in terms of just, he doesn't reflect outwards.
No.
You don't know what he's ever feeling,
No,
because he doesn't seem to reflect it outwards. I mean, you look at people like Mina. I mean, Mina walking around the pitch at the end about 20 yards behind everyone else.
He just hung off and went, this is my time.
Basically strutting around with the Thriller jacket on.
Yeah.
Incredible scenes, absolutely incredible scenes. And you see him, he's smiling. You see other players. Gomez was working in the club shop at 5:30. Incredible. Absolutely. He's doing his double shift.
That is literally, that's commitment.
It's
isn't it?
Double shift.
And I thought Coleman and Luca Dean, but just delighted. And I think what he's done as well, to his credit, the manager, and I think he does deserve big credit for this, is that when you look at that team, there seems to be a real team spirit there now that I've not seen for a few years. A proper, not saying the people didn't like each other, but there seems to be a real togetherness.
But how can you forge your team spirit when the turnover is so high? I mean, let's be honest.
But I'm talking probably maybe Martinez's first year. That's the last time I've seen a team so together. And that was probably running on from David Moyes as well, with a few new. Just if you look at them, look at the goal. There's a picture of Dean and Coleman when Coleman scored, and the pair of them, and just little things that you see and every player's involved. And I just think the managers obviously worked really hard at that. And there's something Moyes was blob on with it, and he had to be. And it was like, you get the dressing room right, you're halfway there. And I think this manager has a similar.
You run through brick walls for each other, won't you? Do the extra thing for each other.
And it makes, listen, in this league, it makes a massive difference. But you're right, at second half, there was a lull, and it gave them a little bit of impetus, but then we stepped it back up again and got control of it again, I thought, for the last 20, and we started. Then Lookman, like you say, made a difference and give them a different thing to worry about. But I just want to talk about Walcott. Because he come on. And I'm not saying he doesn't come on and hide, but I don't, for this team, I just don't know what.
Do you think, I know what you're trying to say, but you're just not saying it.
Yeah.
Do you think the problem is, right, do you think the big problem is, and I think this is the big problem, is that the style of play simply does not suit the player.
Yeah.
So he's like, imagine it all being a jigsaw, right, and you've got this little space left, and the space is like, and he's the opposite of that, and it just doesn't fit.
Is the space like one of the pieces where they're all sticking out, and then, do you know what I mean? The 4 bits, there's like 4 holes that it goes into, and he's like 3 holes.
Just like 3 holes.
Yeah, it's just not working.
Essentially, it just doesn't fit into the way we play. So therefore, when we move the ball, and the way Richarlison moves, and he comes inside, and he holds it
powerful.
Up, he holds the ball up. I mean, look at Richarlison, right? Richarlison never ever. Like, you very rarely see Richarlison get the ball and go, right, I'm taking you on a pace. What he does is, he slows the game down, And that allows a lot of the time for Seamus to go round the side of him, and then he can go then, because he's intelligent and he's quick.
He's strong.
You never ever see Walcott get the ball, stop, and then think about what other people are doing. Walcott's entire game for the whole of his career has been about getting the ball and I will run faster than you with the ball. And for a long time he could do that. Now he can't do it. Now he's 30 years of age and he's going up against 21-year-olds.
He went on a great little run near the end.
Yeah, and
he
what did he
went
do
past
at the
about
end of it?
four of them,
What did he do at the end of it? He just
wall,
played a
didn't he?
terrible pass and it went to their play. And that's what I'm saying. Whereas with Charlison, you want players with... See, that run, right? What you want him to do is you want him to run. And you take a couple on and then you go, right, now I'll hit the space. Run towards the space. But if the rest of the team are set up in a way that it's... in training is that we do this, we do this, we do this. How can you work with a player who simply doesn't know how to play? That's it. Like, if he came on him and went, right, I'm going to adjust my game to play a little bit more like the player I've just replaced, you give him the benefit of the doubt, but he doesn't. No. He just wants to play like Walcott because he's played like that for 14 years in the Premier League. And what can you do about that? Nothing.
Old dog, new tricks and all that.
I don't want to say that he lacks football ability, and I don't want to say he lacks a football brain.
But you're gonna.
No.
He doesn't. I don't think he lacks football ability, but I think the brain bit might be. I just think probably what it is he's just used to playing a certain way that suited him, isn't he? And this is a little bit different, and we're not getting the best out of him, and so that's a decision that needs to be made this summer. If someone comes in, is that for the amount of times that he's done something for us this season, really coming off the bench, he scored against United, but other than that, has he really changed anything?
I honestly believe that if someone, let's just say Southampton came for him, now let's say Southampton said, right, we need a centre forward who is a ball over the top, who will work hard, who will try and forage from the front and press from the front. He would do them a job. He'd do them a job. But our manager clearly doesn't see Walcott as an option playing up front. I mean, something we spoke about earlier in the season, but he obviously does not see him, because what he must look at again is about the jigsaw. You look at now, since Dom's been up front, all right, we can talk about all the negative things, right? But the positive things are huge in terms of how he lets the rest of the team play, and that's a huge factor. And I said it on my player ratings video, is that we've come to the stage now where that it's almost like we've accepted how good he's become as a centre forward, as doing that role, that now people are asking for more. But don't lose sight of the job he does, though, because it's a very, very unselfish job Dominic Calvert-Lewin does for the rest of the team, and that first goal proves it. And he'll take a lot of stick off a lot of people who call him a championship player and all the rest of it. He's not, because that job requires self-sacrifice that some people simply wouldn't give.
Well, hang on, ask yourself the question. They had a lad up front. Both of their strikers have scored double figures this season. Them two up front. I wouldn't swap them for either of them.
No, because
they to me are... Probably being a bit disrespectful, but they look like, compared to other Premier League strikers, they look like championship strikers. Big, strong, good at what they do. You
can get a tune out of them, but what I'm talking about,
I think Dom's got more to his
what
game.
I'm talking about is that Dom is like the big piece in the jigsaw for the way the team plays at the moment. What you've got to do is go out and find the same shaped jigsaw, just but it's made out of gold.
Yeah.
Right? And that's fair enough. Problem is that Walcott does the way he plays just doesn't seem to fit any of the positions. And if it fit one, I'd probably say it fit left midfield, left side of the three. But he's not. But he's not Bernard.
No.
And he wouldn't work. And then you'd say
he wouldn't work with Luca.
He wouldn't work with Luca Dean. So but if I wanted him in one of those positions, I'd want him cutting in on his right foot, because the goal he scored against United and the one he missed tonight prove that he's better coming off the left when he can almost do the Thierry Henry finish.
Well, he Southampton first home game, he missed the chance off one of the greatest moves ever, and he put it wide. If you remember, he laid the goalie down and put it wide off the right-hand side, where if it was on the opposite corner, he'd have just bent it in, wouldn't he? But you're right, it is what it is with him. And I mean, there was a third substitute. Now, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was blowing for tugs. With 10 minutes left, he'd been battered a little bit by Tarkowski and Ben Mee. They give him a few whacks. You know, all part of it. Nothing, you know, sinister. Just part of being a hold-up striker against tough defenders. And he looked like he was limping a little bit, you know. Nearly said the word again. He looked like he was limping. And I thought Tosun was coming on. Tosun was warming up vigorously. Like you did if you were ever sub, you were trying to catch the manager's eye. But I don't know whether he'd used enough spray or whatever. Yeah. But no. And then it was Phil Jagielka. And it was Phil Jagielka for no reason whatsoever. Because it wasn't 2-1 and they put
2-0 90th minute.
2-0 90th minute. It should have been Cenk Tosun or Tom Davies, really. Yeah. And it was Jags. And Everton aren't saying it. But the crowd certainly thought it. And the manager, for me, that was the message, that this is the last time you're going to see Jags in a blue shirt at Goodison Park. That's what I took from it. And I believe he was a little bit tearful, well, potentially tearing up in an interview after the train. That could be it. And if it is, the crowd reception for him was fantastic, singing his name. Yeah. And he's been an incredible signing for, what was it, £4 million and £4 million and £1 from Sheffield United.
What great management it would be though if he does stay, because the way I looked at it was, of course, the chances are that the manager might be thinking, I don't want you, right? Okay, but what if he's like, well, I did it because I simply don't know. I know about Leighton Baines. Leighton Baines is staying.
Baines is staying.
Baines
is staying.
But let's say Baines is staying. I know that, so I don't need to worry about that. But I don't know, and this could be your last time at Goodison Park as an Everton player. So there's 3 minutes. There's 3 minutes to go. We're 2-0 up. I haven't made a song and dance about it. I haven't made sentimental thing. I'm just going to put you on.
But it is sentimental.
No, I know it is. But he didn't say before, like, there's not in, like, you know what I mean? Like, didn't say in the press conference, if I get a chance, I'll give Jags for, like, 2 minutes.
No.
He came on, Seamus gave him the armband, and he got on and he just played, and he played the game, and he made a couple of clearances, and if Jags goes back to the change room and or whatever, and he's speaking to the manager's like, well, you haven't signed a deal, for all I know, you might want to leave, but I had to give you, in terms of management, I think that's great management, to pay respect, just in case he doesn't sign.
I think it's great management anyway, even if it is the end of him. And he's made that decision. If Marco Silva's like, listen, you know, because I think Phil Jagielka is probably himself thinking, I've got a year left. Right? Now, at the end of the day, what's the point in him staying at Everton if he thinks he wants to play for another season? You're a long time retired. So if he thinks, I want one more season, you know, Arsenal give me that the other week when I scored, it gave me the taste for playing. Yeah. And he looks and goes to Marco Silva, am I going to play? And the manager's like, well, if Kurt Zouma stays, him, Mina and Keane are my three, and then we've got Mason Holgate coming back. You know, you're just simply not going to play unless there's an emergency. Now, Sheffield United, and I'm using them because he's played before and he just got promoted, they could say to him, that Chris Wilder could be like, listen, I want you to play 20 games at least next season for me, because we're going to need a leader. We haven't got big pots of money to spend. We need a leader with experience, not against the top six, or top seven, we can write them off forever, but against the bottom six, which the likes of Cardiff haven't done well enough in Fulham. And Jagielka's got that experience. So I think for him, it'd be a shit. I'd be gutted if he leaves, because I've loved him and he's been okay. Yeah, people will criticise his captaincy because we haven't won anything, or because he's not the most vocal. But for £4 million as a centre back, we've had him for 12 years. He's been incredible, and I love him, or 11 years, whatever it is. I love him. I think he's just, and he always looks great when he comes back for pre-season with his tan. But and I hope he ends up back at the club. I really do. You know, this is a kid that was at the club and left, and we had to pay to get him back. But for him, you're a long time retired, and if he can go and get 15 to 20 games at another Premier
Yeah.
League club, then he should do that really, because he's not going to play in our first team. It's as simple as that.
But it's not. But if it was the end, then it was a nice end, and
Of course, well, we
it'll,
won the game,
it'll
and
leave him with a nice thing that, you know, there's no hard feelings. It's a professional decision, but I've give you something.
He's 36. He's not 27. It's time. As we know, it's a big old pitch that when kids are running around, you know,
Well,
isn't
you
it?
say that's good after last time.
I wasn't playing, and the level of them mustn't have been very good. That's
You
all
say
I'm
that
saying.
again. Jamie Carragher was playing.
Against you.
I didn't say that. I just said
Oh, there
Jamie
you
Carragher.
go. Well, I mean, you know, to give it some context. Yeah, but, you know, like you say, a nice fitting end, if that is to be the end of it.
But it's it's a good. At the end of the day, it's a really good 3 points. We did what we said.
It was a banana skin, wasn't it? Because we'd had the big teams and we'd beaten them. These have just gone to Chelsea and got a draw.
You should have.
They were tough.
You should have 10, 11 of
I
them
was
a
going to
season.
say.
You should have 10, 11 those games a season.
Have we
easily.
won? Was that our 10th home win of the season or something? Which we've done really well, because a while ago it was poor.
Graham Price is saying Silva said he has talked with Jags last week and will talk again over the next 10 days. Got the impression he wants him to stay. Well, that's what I'm saying about good management though, because if it is his last time at Goodison, there's no point having that regret of saying, well, if only I could give him that chance again. You know, if only we could give him that last game. He has given him that game. The manager can say, man, and go, I just wanted to make sure we won the game. That's all it was.
Well, listen, Graham, he will, in my opinion, though, even if he's letting him go, he's going to come across like he wants him to stay, because it's good management. You try not to isolate any people, and you certainly try not to isolate someone who's as popular as Phil Jagielka in the dressing room.
So we win 2-0. We're a point behind Fulham now, ahead of
Point behind Wolves, who play Fulham.
Play Fulham, sorry.
In a few hours.
Get ahead of myself.
Yeah. Be worried if we were a point behind Fulham.
Yeah, I'll be desperately worried. Yeah. So from that point of view, we've done everything we can. But what did you take anything from? You know, we had the lap of appreciation. Did you take any? You're always looking, aren't you, for the body language of the players and to see, and of all of them, the likes of, I mean, obviously the likes of Gomez, the likes of Zuma, the likes of Garner, just to try and see what the body language is, to see. I mean, Zuma came over, he's by the Gladys Street, and he was like waving, and I was like, oh, shiver me timbers.
Yeah, but I suppose for him, it's the
same thing, isn't it?
There's no certainty, is there?
Yeah.
He could be like...
He could have gone...
But he might have been waving, going, hi, I'm staying.
I'm happy.
Okay,
quite literally.
Exactly. But, you know, he could be like, I want to stay here. And Chelsea like, lad, we can't sell
and
you.
Zuma... Sorry, it's 5-2 in the morning.
We haven't even done the comments.
We will come on to the comments. We'll come on to the comments.
But we're going to include you in a minute, I
promise. Gomez was just like, it was just like, I'm walking around. I've done my bit in the shop. I'm just walking around. I'll see you in a few weeks. It was that. He was so like nonplussed. There was from sitting at the Gladys seat. He was just walking, talking with someone like it was. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to deflect.
Give us the clap on the Bullens.
I mean that really. Did you just realise that?
Yeah. 5-2. He clapped us in the upper Bullens.
We're just going to VAR.
He clapped us in the upper Bullens. He jumped off the wardrobe to get into those jeans.
I'm sure some people. I'm sure some people wouldn't mind getting the clap off him. But it was just that funny. It was like funny because like Zuma, Garner, and Dean and Snyder were like right at the back, like the French contingent
with the kids.
They were all with the kids, and then Mars behind them was just like me, like he was going for a bus.
He just literally was like getting a coffee at the bar, and someone went, "Are you going on the pitch?" And he went, "This is my time now."
But I couldn't see any body language of anybody.
The biggest one that I've seen in recent times was Barkley and Lukaku. That Goodison.
No, but at Arsenal, he just basically came over and went, bye!
Well, he done it at Goodison when we beat Watford on the Friday night again. A Friday night finish when Barkley scored. The pair of them just walked around like that, as if like they couldn't be less interested. And everyone was like, they're going. And they did. I think tonight, it's difficult, isn't it? you know, Luca Dean was made up. Coleman was having races with his kids at the halfway line, and everyone seemed happy. And you know, the manager, you know, it was nice to see a manager on a lap of appreciation. You know, because
that was another thing I was going to say.
You've got media duties to do. Remember?
That was yeah, I remember.
You know,
I remember. I stayed.
Obligations.
I remember. I
so
stayed.
No, but it was obligations. Remember?
No, I remember last year and how much difference it was. Obviously, last year we drew 1-1 with Southampton. Very late goal from Tom Davies, and that took a deflection, and Tom got it.
Don't talk it, don't. But carry on.
Richarlison's was killing.
Yeah, it was.
Killing.
Listen, it was.
Honestly,
I know. Those Brazilians.
But yeah, I mean, you know, there was a nice. It was obviously I heard Marco Silverman afterwards talking and saying, and I think Coleman said similar. He was like, you know, Coleman I think said, well, when the derby came, we sort of, as the fans had been frustrated, and he said rightly so. And he said, you know, when the derby happened, we needed to come together, and we did come together, and we've been together since. And then Silver said something similar. He said, you know, we've got the fans on our side, and it's great to be here now, and the atmosphere is great, and
the best I've felt about the team in terms of a connection for a while, I would say, in terms of the fans backing the team.
Yeah, definitely since Martinez has, you know, the second season when
that's nearly 5 years ago.
No, I know, and
that's a long time.
There's been so much turmoil, and we spoke about it so much about the turnover of managers and the turnover of players, and it would be really nice just to go into a season with like the same manager, and I know Koeman in
even though Marino was there in the Stewards jacket.
Oh well, he was, wasn't he? Slightly turn again, but even in Koeman's second season, and it. Yeah, I mean, Koeman's second season was mad because you were thinking we've got Europe and everything, but it didn't take that many weeks to just look at it and go, what?
Well, it was transferred that.
Where's our pre-season? Where's pre-season? Where's the pre-season, lads?
But even with Koeman, though, you knew that it was always Everton, and there was never like us and we and the fans. It was always, yeah, I'm here to try and hope you can give me a leg up to get the Barcelona job. I'm not really asked about being here. And then with Marco, it's more like I want to prove myself. I'm a good coach, and I'm at a good club with good money now, and I can achieve.
It'd be strange for him, won't it? You know, going into a second season at a club.
It will. But I mean, a lot of it's not been his doing, has it? But you know, listen, everything's geared right. You know, and as my dad said in the comments, you know, ages ago, it's exactly what I said in the stadium, talking to the people around. You always, you know, have a nice summer, but I was like, it feels like something's happening.
No, it was.
No, but it does.
No, it does.
Because
it was good. It was a good one. It was obviously Friday night, and
the lights are low. We looking out for a place to go.
I mean, I literally could be out on the aisle,
exactly,
and I'm in here with you.
Yeah. You wouldn't, no place you'd rather
I feel like Bill. What's his name? Bill Knight in Love Actually.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye. Yeah.
What Baz is all around me. But
I mean,
it's literally, you know,
with the clan.
Another victory.
It is. It's
4
another
home
win.
wins on the spin. You know, 5 games without conceding a goal at Goodison, which is amazing for us. You know, after that Man City. And to be honest, I said this at the time, and people were like, "What?
Like, did they say it just like
that? What? Get him out, Silver, he's crap and all that. Whatever." But I said at the time, with that City, there was a reaction at that Manchester City game, and that for me is where it.
It was just the Wolves game, wasn't it? The Wolves game.
Wolves and Watford. Watford was a weird game because it was that one goal would win it, and they got it, and it was like, but then, you know, since Cardiff, everything's been good, and you go into, it's important to win that home game because the majority of your fans go home feeling good. Now that's the season done at Goodison. It's been good. We've done this, we've done that, and we're ready for next season, and that's it now, isn't it?
How many home games did we lose?
We lost
Tottenham,
West Ham, Wolves.
Those 3 home games we lost, did it? That's not bad, is it? I mean.
And City 4.
Okay, that's not
still
terrible.
Not terrible. I think we won 10, didn't we? So
Spurs was incredible.
But no, the Spurs game, no. It was really,
it was mad because we should have been 2-0.
It was weird because it was 2-0.
It should have been 2-0.
We literally,
and then the keeper and Zuma knocking each other out, and then they went, and then the manager sort of just went, "Yeah, we'll do what we want." Not, you know, it was mad.
I don't think he quite said it like that. Yeah, Everton's 7th best home record. Oh no, 5 defeats, 10 victories, 4 draws and 5 defeats at Goodison we finished with.
Who's the other
10 wins, 7th best home record. We lost to City, Wolves, Leicester.
Leicester, yeah, New Year's Day. I mean,
But,
that's instantly forgettable.
Look at that though, 10 home wins like Man United. You know, Chelsea have only won 11. So we're at a level that the jump isn't too far away. It's the away form next season. If he can improve that, it's the away form.
Yeah.
We look at our away form. We're in 11th. We've only won 5 away games. So
that's been the problem for years, though. Yeah. That's been such a problem for years.
But with better players means you can win away from home.
Tried for a while. 2518 says, I fully admit I wanted Silva sacked. I'm an idiot. There you go.
I don't think you're an idiot. I think the problem is people.
You are allowed, right? There's this thing called changing your mind.
Thanks, David. At Leicester, I just got it.
You are allowed to change your mind, honestly, on any subject.
No, of course. What I was just gonna say is no, I wasn't. What I was gonna say was it's because when we almost become punch drunk because every season it was merging into one, so it felt as though you've got a manager who's been in place for 4 years really, and it's a nightmare because it hasn't. Whereas when you're starting something, you've got to allow everything to settle down, and we've allowed it to settle down, and now, we're reaping the rewards, and it's whether he can build on it.
Right, let's do some comments. Let's do some comments. So I'll go right back to the top.
Yeah.
Karim Batchower says, Schneidlin, how good were Schneidlin and Guy? Schneidlin under Silva is a completely different player than under Koeman and Allardyce.
Yeah, he is. Here's another one for Schneidlin. David Havel, thoughts on the game. Schneidlin has cemented his place in next season's squad over the past 3 games. 2, Zuma has made himself as much of a priority as Gomez, and the last 9 games since the international break have shown the fruits of Silva's labour and given a lot of confidence going into next season.
Can I speak to Dave? I don't know. Says, imagine Dominic Calvert-Lewin could finish. It would be a perfect front 3. Yeah, you're right. Morkeith 96 says, what did the lads think of Jagielka's situation? Surely the club should have told us he was leaving. Well, we've covered that situation. We'll have to wait and see. Mike Foster says, Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs to vary his timing on runs in the box. He's running too straight and too obvious at the moment. Joe McKibben says, oh yeah, that was the one about we haven't conceded. Mike Foster, what I like about the squad right now is that we have tactical options up front.
We do, and we can change what we do, but we still need better ones. David Collins, Richie won't play next week, neither will Lookman in my opinion. I talked to Leipzig about a swap for Poulsen. Walcott doesn't offer us anything, and despite Onyekuru coming in, we still need a winger. Timo is in Chicago. I love DCL, but his finishing isn't good enough. We need to bring someone with proven finishing to push him. He can't be an automatic start with his minor flaws. He's had a great season otherwise, though. David Havel said the first 15 minutes tonight was like your possession in Road to Glory.
It certainly was. We that's what the manager learned it from.
Well, exactly. Listen, if he isn't, he needs to. Paul Tony, what happens with DCL next season, as we will be bringing in a new striker? This season he's come on leaps and bounds at regular game time. Are we going to have to loan him out to continue progression?
Oh, stop talking about loans! Paul, by the way, I've had a great idea. I've had an absolute shining moment tonight.
Really, though?
Yeah, you'll love this. We buy Bolton.
Because they're about to collapse.
We buy Bolton and we make them our we don't call them Everton 2. We just leave it at Bolton. Or call them Bolt Everton.
Put Unsworth, the manager.
Put Unsworth in as the manager and just make them our feeder club.
Just get everyone there.
And just get everyone there and make an Everton.
But not Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Not Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The answer for Dominic Calvert-Lewin is to play games of football at Everton and come off the bench in some games and start some games and fight for his place. Stop thinking of players, right, as these things that we've gone far too down the rabbit hole where we all think, oh, you can't upset poor player because poor player will just want to go somewhere else. Right, you get 2 players in training and you say, lads, tell you what, right, we'll have a race. And whoever wins the race starts the match tomorrow, right? If player A wins, he starts. If player B loses, player B can't say, that's unfair. And the manager says, why? Well, I lost, that's unfair. because I lost the race. And said, but I told you, that's what you want. You want them in training, competing with each other.
What I would say is Manchester City have got Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. Gabriel Jesus will probably get in most other teams. Look at City's wingers. Leroy Sané is one of the best players in the Premier League.
If the manager is fair, right? That's all you ask for as a player, I'd imagine, is if he's fair and says to the players, I don't have any favourites here. Whoever works hard, whoever catches my eye, whoever does what I ask to do, they will play. And that's what he seems to be going off the back of. And that's why people like Schneiderlin have got back in the team. And that's why maybe Lookman isn't in the team. I can't honestly say that, but I'm saying you look at it and say, everyone gets a fair crack at the whip. And if they're playing, it's because they deserve to play.
What Tom Bruce has said, lads, do you reckon DCL's finishing will improve? I think sometimes it's strikers, it's a thing you're born with, that eye for goal, just don't think he's got it. Love everything else about his game, and I'm not moaning. What he can, you're right, there's instinctive goal scorers, and you just run into places where the ball is. It's just, I don't know how it works, but it does. And if you've ever scored goals, you'll know that, you know, you find yourself in positions and you'll put the ball in the net. But what he can learn, because he has quite clearly hasn't got that, right? But what he can learn is better runs, is better areas for him to attack.
Yeah.
You know, and being clever, going short and pulling away, pushing the defender and moving back, or getting in front, getting across defenders. I want him in that 6-yard box where he'll score goals. And you can teach him that, because it's about making them runs. If you can't do it instinctively, you make him do it robotically. This is where you go. This is what you do. He's done that with other parts of his game. He's shown it. So it's about working hard on him. David Sugg says, got to keep Schneiderlin next season. What a turnaround he's had. But Timo says, personally, I'd sell him. Too many peaks and valleys. Sell him off his peak. I don't know, Timo, you know. If someone comes in with a good offer, then he probably will go if he's going to play. But, you know, I just don't know if he wants to stay.
I'll tell you what we haven't really spoke about tonight is how good that defence was and
well, let me just rattle a few of these off on we will.
The passing from Michael Keane, I thought was
fantastic. Kyle Rebar, I think Walcott needs to be sold. Not a bad play, just doesn't fit the system. It's what we've said. Jordan McGivern, Lookman, bright when he came on. What do we do with him in the summer? Well, yeah, there's one for you.
Lookman. I think we spoke about this last week.
No, well, I'm saying because we've seen him in front of our eyes tonight.
Oh, in front of our eyes. I think at the end of the day, right, the manager and Brands will have already made the decision on them. And if they've got a replacement, maybe one that plays for Ajax, then
he'll go.
He'll go only. If you can get 25 million for him and you can bring a player in for 40 in the Champions League, then they'll do it. They'll get rid of players. They'll see where they see fit. There's no, for me again, it's Brands.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah,
me too. Karen, lads, how good was Dom's hold-up play?
It was great, especially against a couple of Groks.
Yeah, very good.
Perfect.
Mike Green, amazing how Walcott was a shining light. Hope like Lookman a year ago. Now Walcott is way below where we are, and Lookman won't be as big a loss as I would have thought a while ago. Absolutely right, Mike. It's, you know, last summer we were loath to lose Lookman. Now it's like if the price is right and we've got not
come on down.
Yeah, you know, it's one of them.
I mean, imagine that though. Like your chance to win Theo Walcott.
Well, and Hasselhoff's there going.
I think can I have the speedboat instead?
Yeah. Bobby phenomenal BS. Bobby Brogue says he defo called time on Jags. Sheffield United, there's a share for him. Brian Gardner, according to the commentary, Silver has confirmed he wants to give Baines another year, but he still has to have a chat with Jags. The TV commentators, this is from Gary Ward, said it was a farewell to Jags. David Collins, Zuman was carrying his daughter. If he gives it the imaginary signing like you want, Ped, he drops her. Well said, David.
Professional.
Kyle Rebar, really hope we keep Zuma and
got to do what you got to do.
Gomez, you've got to let the crowd know. And yeah, you know, it's been a decent, you know, you look back at that home record now and go 10 wins, 4 draws and 5 defeats. You know, it's not bad. It can be improved. Of course it can. And that's what they'll be working on now as we go. Phenomenal. Bobby Brogues has said Bolt Everton.
Yeah, both Everton.
That's literally what it could be
That's
called.
what it could be called.
You know, we're coming in. We've got a game to go now.
Yeah.
We'll know, obviously, tomorrow night where we stand regarding Europe. Fulham are 3-0 since they sacked the manager.
3-0.
Haven't conceded a goal either in that time. So, you know, Wolves, I know they beat Arsenal last time out, but the game before they played Brighton and it was a you know, a walkover at home and he drew 0-0. So, if Fulham were to get a draw tomorrow, you know, I'm going to hang me hat on Liverpool spanking Wolves next Sunday. So it means, you know, Spurs, for all we know, could win an Ajax and be in a Champions League final. So when Everton go there next Sunday, Pochettino will be like, yeah, we're playing our under-18s because I can't afford any more injuries. We've got a Champions League final. You know, and if Everton play the way they did in that first half an hour tonight at Tottenham, we can beat them. You know, West Ham went there last week and beat them. So that's why, I suppose, he has to keep continuing to play his best 11 because...
Right. Got a couple more just to
go
rattle through before we finish. Jordan McGivern says Schenk would bury Dom's chances but doesn't get in the positions Dom does. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, I don't actually have any proof that Schenk would bury them because I haven't seen that this season. I think he's had chances and he hasn't buried them. He's a finisher, but he's not. Does he bring other people into the game like Dom does? No is the answer. Nope. John Lavelle says the young players in and around the first team do not need to go out on loan. They need to be under Marco's tutelage and be given push to oust any competition around them, whether that be with the players already around them or with new players brought in. Exactly. Do you know what? Right. Funny enough, I was walking down Goodison Road.
Yeah.
And in front of me there was a lad with his hood up, and there was a lad. What?
Is it a player?
Yes, it was a player. I mean,
so there's a, you were just going to say.
So there was a lad in front of me.
No,
there was a lad in front of me. He had his coat up.
Yeah.
And somewhat
John Joe Kenny.
It was John Joe Kenny.
I know why it's come to me because he had that hood up on the pitch as well. But carry on.
So John Joe Kenny was in front of me, and some lad had got a picture with him. I was like, "Who is he?" And I just thought, and when I'm looking at him walking. I don't know where he was going. Whether he was going to Mackey's or something.
But going to
but he was going. No, he was walking down. He was walking down by the hub.
Oh yeah,
the free school.
Yeah.
But I just thought, there's a perf. What does John Joe Kenny want? Right, so you've got John Joe Kenny, you've got Tom Davis.
He just said literally he wants a Big Mac meal.
Well, there you go. We might want one of those New York ones, which I had before the game.
What was it like?
It was all right. It was in a bagel though, which is a bit weird.
I had.
But essentially, McDonald's are all the same. They're just different sauces.
Of course. But I had that. I done something that didn't do. But just before we carry on.
Not Andre Gomez, is it?
No. I hadn't really had any tea, so I went into Goodison Park. See, this is what home wins do.
Yeah.
I'm not conceding goals. I bought a pie, steak and kidney pie for me. Last time I had a steak and kidney pie at Goodison,
1987.
we beat Bournemouth 6-3. And I started eating it like that, and Rom scored after 20 seconds and nearly dropped it. Yeah, it was hot. I bought Zach a hot dog because he'd asked me could he have one for the last few games. And I was like, I'll get you one against Burnley. Yeah. It was like that. It was ridiculous. I got a coffee for me mate, that me and me mate, soft drinks, £17.60.
Incredible.
Everton have had that out of me. Now, if we'd lost 2 games, I wasn't buying a thing.
Exactly.
But, so yeah, sorry, back to you. Because the McDonald's thing threw me. It made me
fair enough. I mean, this is what happens when you do live. But I just thought of John Joe Kenny and I thought, well, there's a player there that isn't playing. Now, what does he want to do? Does he want to go on loan or sign for someone else? Or does he want... And what do the club think about him, depending on, like, attitude? And then you've got someone like Tom Davies, who isn't playing, who's in a similar boat, who signs a new contract and says, this is where my future is. And I think that's the point, isn't it? It's, do you want to just go and be... Okay, listen, some people will say, and we'll have kids who mightn't be Evertonians or whatever, or mightn't have a love for the club. I don't know. But if you're at someone long enough, you should have a love for it no matter what. With Tom will look at it and be all positive. I'm not saying John Joe Kenny feels that way, but if John Joe Kenny left, where would he go? And how long would he just want to just be another player in another club, and the club would, I imagine, would be like a championship club, and does he want to have a decent career, or does he want to go, you know what, I want to fight for this at Everton? And I know it's a double-edged sword because some people have to leave football clubs, but this whole just going on loan stuff, I think that's what you should do when you're like 19 or 18. I think once you're like 22, 23, 21, 22, I think that's when you should be like, I need a pathway. Have I got a pathway? And you know what, if the club turns around and goes, yeah, your pathway's going on loan. But I don't see that. I just don't see that at like that age. I just don't see. Look at Matty Pennington. He's been on loan for 2 years straight. He's never playing for Everton ever again. Never. No. He's 24. He's never playing for Everton ever again. You get to a point where you just like, you've got to go and play somewhere else. I hope Kurt Zouma feels the same way about Chelsea. Personally, like, you know, I think I've had my time now, but no, this whole loan thing, I think once you get to a certain age, I think it's just, it doesn't help you. I just don't think it helps you, unless the level is absolutely terrific or you're playing for Bolt Everton.
I think you've got to just stay around. If you're going to be squad members, you've got to stay around the manager, haven't you? I suppose. Depends how developed. If you're in it, if you there's a side of your game that's really raw, and you think the only way this is going to improve is by sending it out on loan to play with men and get used to that kind of thing. Fair enough, but I think Tom Davies and Dominic Calvert-Lewin are well past that. It's the more squad players than anything else. So
let's wrap this up.
Yeah, because hang on, finally.
Come on then.
I mentioned for the statue. You went and had
I went and had a look at it before and after the game. It looks really, really good. It's obviously, it's high up. The players are all facing in different directions. I think Howard's facing the Winslow. This is fantastic. And underneath it, there's where the statues are. See, I thought it was going to be the classic picture of the three of them.
Yeah.
But it's not. They're all standing in different directions.
Who's facing the chippy? Colin, is it?
Colin, I think, yeah. And it's boss because they've all got like the numbers.
Facing Bramley more.
They've all got the numbers on the back as well, which is really cool.
Yeah,
and then underneath them is like a description about them. So you can look and you can see who they were and what they did, and then you can look up.
And this, of course, is going to Bramley Moor.
Well, it will do, of course it will. And it's right outside the church, at the Holy Trinity, and it's right outside the church.
Someone started the petition to move it, by the way.
No, they haven't.
It shouldn't be outside the church. It's blasphemous. Apparently, it was on a Facebook thing. I don't know whether it's legit, but there's also a petition to get Messi banned as well for punching for.
There is that. I mean, to be fair, I mean that's fine saying it shouldn't be outside the church. I mean, the church doesn't own the street, does it? I mean, you know what I mean.
I mean, if it was in the church doorway stopping people getting in, then fair.
I mean, that would be slightly. But no, it looked great, and then after the game, I had another little look, and it's all lit up in blue. Although I will say, right, little admin thing here. There's a light on the corner, like a street light.
Yeah.
And you know when you're taking pictures, it gives that horrible glow that ruins pictures. So little words to Everton or the council. Joe, I know you watch. Is get that light moved somewhere so it's not shining. Okay, know what? Even better, put one of those new LED lights on it because they just don't light anything. They don't. You might as well just have a pitch black street with those new LED.
Are you messing?
No, are you messing? Are you?
No, I'm not.
Why? Because you live in Chilwell. And it's different in Chilwell. I mean, I notice you've just got your new Lib Dem councillor. Yeah, you did. Well done, Baz. Well done.
Not me, mate.
Well done.
That's not me.
So those LED lights, put one of them in.
I'd Lib Dems back in.
In your gaff, yeah.
No, my thing will be in Waverton. Yeah, shut up.
In Chilwell, yeah.
Right,
don't ask me who's in it. Yeah, I think Tories. I mean, if you're on the Will, you've got Tories. But the Liberal Party got in by ours.
Did they?
Yeah, because I voted for them.
Well, there you go.
But they're not Lib Dems. They're the Liberal Party. Oh. They are like.
But I don't want to talk politics. But change the street light apparently.
Street light. No, it does it. It gives that horrible glow. You know that.
Yeah.
Just like that. No, like you don't see it, but when you take a picture, it's like it's the sun on your face. It literally is. It's like.
On your face, you ate the sun on your face.
Are you getting gingerist again? Hey, that's our word.
You know what I'm getting? Pedest. Because that's what you say. You ate the sun, you melt or whatever. Your words, not mine. I mean, you're not the witch.
Right. Any more?
Have a good night.
Have
lads.
a good night.
Yeah.
We will.
I mean, literally.
We will
be going home to bed.
Going home, crawl into me bed, and be happy that we won a game of football.
And we've got Newcastle win tomorrow.
We've got the weekend off.
We have
the weekend.
Well,
off.
It'd be lovely if next time you come in the studio, Newcastle have got a point at Liverpool, and Man City have beat less than 9-0.
That'd be nice.
With 8 for the goal.
There you go. Thank you to everyone who watched live.
and got involved with all your
And
comments.
just generally
Brilliant.
thank you to everyone who's watched,
Yeah.
and anyone who left a comment, and
And thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon.
yeah,
And that, I mean that.
If you haven't watched this on Patreon and you've watched it on YouTube, this is the kind of thing we do on Patreon. Live shows where you can interact, where we interact with the people at home. That's what you can get involved in, and it's going to be great because in the summer there's going to be loads of that because there'll be nothing else to do.
There'll be no other footy.
No other footy.
Wasn't the World Cups or nothing,
I
but
know.
there you go.
There you go.
Life.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
They're not awful.
LED lights are awful. They are.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later.
Street life!